Okay, great. It's Carla Policastro, joined by Joseph Policastro, co-founder of Cycle CPA. And today we're interviewing Michael from GoMaterials. How are you, Michael?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Good, good. And where are you joining us from?
Right now, I'm actually in Mexico on a little trip, but normally based out of Montreal.
Oh, wow. Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm jealous. I bet you the weather over there is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty warm and sunny out here right now, so I can't complain.
Awesome. Well, super excited to have you on, Michael. I know Go Materials have been innovating the space and how plant material is sourced and just materials in general. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more about your role and Go Materials. So if you can just give us a brief background on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually don't come from the industry specifically. So prior to Go Materials, I was actually my background's pretty corporate. So I was at PepsiCo and I did a variety of roles there. And one of them was actually launching one of the marketplaces for snack foods. So kind of similar model, but very different industries. And the industry actually was, you know, I mean, a little bit old school in the way they were doing things. So there's definitely some similarities there. But one day, basically, one of my best friends and now co-founder Mark Elliott, he was a landscape contractor for about 15 years, and he was telling me a little bit about how he used to purchase materials for jobs. And he was kind of saying it casually, where he was describing, like, yeah, I would pick up the phone and call one and they wouldn't have the material. So I'd call the other and then I'd text the third one. And then I would organize everything. And I check in PDF printed catalogs that get updated, I mean, once a year, and was explaining the process. And I was like, are you stuck in the 1980s with how you're, you know, what I mean, buying materials? So it was one of those kind of moments where you're like, okay, well, there has to be a better way, and we can definitely support and kind of bring that process to the 21st century and add some technology to innovate the process to make it a win-win for both the suppliers and the landscape contractor.
Yeah, no, great. And I love that perspective of, you know, coming from a different industry, almost with fresh eyes, and I think it's almost like when companies, even larger companies, they get a new employee or someone that can come in and share a new perspective. And I think that's really interesting how you took your previous experience and now you're kind of shifting into the green industry.
Yeah.
I guess, do you mind going a little bit more in depth into what Go Materials is, what it does, stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Go Materials is a business to business marketplace that's revolutionizing the way landscape businesses source their materials. So really, at the end of the day, a contractor can come to us, go to our platform, submit a material list of all the materials they're looking for on their project, specifically Softscape. And basically from there, we create the most optimal quote for them. So optimal means basically we use our hundreds and hundreds of suppliers to generate the best quote. And then if they would like to purchase it, they buy it from there, and we take care of everything, you know what I mean? From the estimation piece to the bid to the logistics. And we've actually just added on takeoff. So that is the step that happens before the estimation piece. So really an end-to-end solution for the materials.
Wow, awesome. And I guess, as for some of the main problems, that it solves, or some of the issues, I know you had touched briefly on one, that the other co-founder was running into, but can you walk us through some of those problems that solves?
Yeah, so the procurement process arguably is the most chaotic part of any landscaping job I would see, right? And the material they're buying, right? This is not a widget or something that goes on a pallet. This material is alive, it's growing, it gets sick, it dies, right? It is very complicated to manage from an inventory standpoint, from the supplier standpoint, right? So the truth is that each supplier, right, normally has their niche kind of expertise in what they grow, and a big part of what they sell is what they grow, and then as well as what they can buy in from elsewhere, right? So what we really do is we simplify that process as we connect with all of our suppliers, and basically allow our contractors to source from hundreds of suppliers, but really only work through us, right? So there's a huge time savings, right? There is a huge logistical savings. So you think of all the time that a buyer would spend, you know what I mean, organizing, trucking, to know when to pick up from supplier A, then it's supplier B and C. We really kind of take that whole process and bring it onto our platform, which has shown really to be a huge cost savings and time savings for the contractor. And above that, I'll just add, there's no surprise that right now there is a bit of a product shortage on the plants and tree standpoint, and also labor, right? So it's kind of what has happened on a macro level is there's this perfect storm that's going on where there's less qualified people working at companies, and at the same time, material is so much harder to find. So really, I mean, we're a great solution to come in and be able to help your team, you know what I mean, focus on what they want to do and need to do, which could be anything from growing the business to, I mean, maybe going home an extra hour early so that you're not working that 80-hour work week. So it really comes down to simplifying that whole procurement process for them.
Wow,
Yes.
I love it. I feel like it's a one-stop shop for what these business owners need in terms of, materials and all. And I can see this saving a lot of time on that. And it's even more, or maybe I shouldn't say that, but important for small businesses in this, because they don't have that resource of going into like a marketplace like this, or maybe they don't have those vendor connections, and now they have this platform where they're able to connect with multiple vendors across. So I think that that's great too. And is there anything else within the platform that maybe allows them to get like a discount, or just like from bundling with these vendors that they're able to see some savings on that end too?
So at the end of the day, our core focus is really about convenience and simplicity, right?
Yeah.
So that really is what we're going for. But what does happen too is because we represent hundreds and hundreds of landscape contractors, we do purchase a lot of material. So for, a smaller or medium-sized business, they kind of might be able to access a new threshold of pricing that can be a little bit more competitive. And then what can also happen too is some optimization on the transportation front. So without them realizing it, they might be sharing a truck with another contractor in the same vicinity, so that they're able to kind of share those transportation costs. But at the end of the day, really the way to think about it is just saves a huge convenience and allowing the contractor to just focus on their core business.
Absolutely. And where I guess we have people in the group that are scattered all throughout the US. I would imagine Canada. Where does this platform? I guess where can these contractors take advantage of something like this?
So our primary regions today are Eastern Canada, New York, New Jersey, Florida, Georgia, both Carolinas, Texas, and California. Although I will say that we are expanding quite rapidly. So depending on the size of the project, if you're outside of those regions, we'd still not necessarily would like to hear and see what we can do. But really, those 7 states are our core focus at the moment, where we're working hard towards growing.
Very nice. Yeah, some of those are the huge, green industry is huge in those areas. And as for someone that maybe is in one of those states or maybe close by, if they have a vendor that isn't utilizing GoMaterials, is that possible? Is that something that the contractor can communicate to you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. At the end of the day, we have landscapers who refer their suppliers, and we have suppliers who even refer their contractors all the time. Right. And And that's really the beauty of a marketplace is as both sides of supply and demand increase, there's a domino effect of value for both nursery and landscape contractors. So we see that all the time, and we have referral programs too to make sure to keep everyone nice and incentivized to refer their friends to us.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, no, I think just making it really as easy as possible, right? Like that's what it sounds like you guys are doing, just making that whole process as easy. Almost like I know there's a saying, even for a lot of landscape contractors, don't make it hard for someone to, pay you, right? Or don't make it hard for someone to, make moves like that. So I think, it's great to, it sounds like a win-win, you know,
Yeah.
uh, thing for both the contractor and the and the vendors. So that's awesome stuff. Um, and no, so that's great. And then as for technology, I know you had touched on it. You know, what are you seeing? As for companies that are implementing something like this, and kind of moving into this new era where there's just technology coming in all different angles, with all these different aspects.
Yeah, you know what? Technology can be a scary thing, right? And anything, I think any change is often looked at in a, you know what I mean? People tend to be more cautious around it, and I understand it. Like, where our landscape contractors would come from when okay, well, I've been working with direct to nursery or direct to wholesaler for many years. So it's what why would I try something new, right? But I think what's really important is that we continuously have an open mindset to change and to technology. And the truth is, right, when we look at what technology has done even outside of the green industry, right? You look at something, for example, how the taxi industry was, revolutionized by what Uber had done, right? And had really made it 10 times easier to call a cab, right? And to get into a car and get it from point A to point B. Is we really need to keep that same mindset of that technology will do the same for us within the landscape construction industry and within the green industry. We just have to make sure we're forward thinking. And will it work 100% of the time in earlier phases? No, probably not. But what we really believe is that we need to work closely with our customers, with our suppliers, have open conversations about what their main pain points are, and then we can leverage our software engineers and our tech team to build amazing seamless products that are going to help our users work better, right? And I know it's the work better sounds really broad, but at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, right? Whether that means a little bit faster, a little less time consuming, it's all encompassing, right? So I think if we're all kind of looking in that direction together, then we could take this whole industry to an entire new level.
No, great. And we always try to tell our clients, make moves like this, when it comes to streamlining, and implementing technology like this when times are good, and then when you find yourself during the low times or even in the off season for some companies, it just helps to keep some of that competitive advantage. Now, so I'm sitting here, I love what I'm hearing. If let's say I'm a landscape contractor, how what does the process look like? When it comes to if I want to get started on this, I want to jump on this today.
Yeah, so it's pretty simple. At the end of the day, you can go to GoMaterials.com, create a free account, and then you can start submitting. If you have bids coming up or projects in hand, you can submit any of those projects, any format. So it could be directly from the drawings or takeoffs all the way to, if you have the list of material in Excel doc, upload it to our platform, and then we'll turn you around a quote. And at the end of the day, if you like what you see, and if you need a picture request or whatever it may be, we can get started from there. And then of course, someone from our awesome team will reach out and give you a little bit more details on how things work and how to possibly get started.
Awesome. And where could people reach out with any questions in regard to this?
So you could reach out directly to myself, right? So I can we can tag my email address right onto this posting afterwards. And if you go to our website, all the regional numbers. So depending on where you're located, you can get in contact with one of our local representatives there as well. So we can definitely keep that provide that afterwards as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, we would like to thank you again, Michael, for coming on and talking more about GoMaterials. I think it's a great service.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me. And again, if there's anything anyone has going on that they need help with, don't be a stranger.
All right. Thank you, Michael.